Peace and blessings, everybody. It's your boy Jay Taylor back with another recording. Voices for the Voiceless. It's this Thursday afternoon, November the 7th, and hope that everybody's having a great week. We've gotten over the hump and looking forward towards the weekend. Yes, indeed. It's been a great week. I'm pretty sure you got the news. If you haven't gotten the news, you might be living under a rock somewhere. But the American people have spoken, and Donald J. Trump wins the presidential election in a landslide. So the people have spoken. And, as you know, me and Mika have been covering this from top to bottom for the last couple months since we launched our platform, Voices for the Voiceless. So not only one thing that was clear is that not only did Trump win in a landslide, it was a sea of red across the country. The House and the Senate is now um, Republican. And once again, make no mistake, I'm for whoever is best, so I don't identify as a Democrat or a Republican. Although I am a registered Democrat, um, I, I I find it better suitable for me to be an independent at this point. And because my political stance may change in the next election, whoever's the best, whether they're Democratic, Republican, or Independent. So I just choose to stay independent. But right now, I think this was a move in the right direction. And I think the the Democratic Party wants to place the blame on certain groups of people, like they wanted to blame the black men, and they wanted to blame, I think more recently white women. And I mean, instead of just pointing the finger when you take an L and just pointing the finger at themselves, you know, um, people could see, people tired of the empty promises, they're tired of the pandering to specific groups of people, identity politics with no specific policies. You trying to push a candidate off that wasn't prepared to run. From my vantage point, I mean, Joe Biden stepped down after he lost that first debate against Trump, and then you just kind of just pushed her in there, and she had a little bit over 100 days to win. It was like a setup for failure. And if we always said if it was going to be a fair election, it was going to be too big to rig, baby. And Democrats they need to reform. No specific policies, and then under the Pandering Act, we just not feeling. We're not falling for all these celebrities coming out here trying to tell us who we should vote for when we live in two different spectrums in this country. You know, for Kamala Harris, they spent over 100 over $1 billion, my bad, on her campaign. And majority of that money, I imagine, would go to people like Beyonce, Usher, Quavo, Cardi B, Taylor Swift. I mean, Eminem. You know, we're not falling for the BET awards when it comes to politics. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just listening to the people, and this is part when you take an L, you're supposed to learn from it. Instead of listening to the people and what we as a people were trying to express, they would rather try lecturing the people. You know, as if our eyes are deceiving us. You know, like we, everybody can't see uh the migrant crisis, the inflation, and how bad the economy has gotten. You got people like Barack Obama coming out lecturing black men. That was a huge mistake that backfired. Instead of lecturing, you should have tried listening. You did more listening, you could have ran a smoother campaign that would have came off more genuine. So that's a lesson moving forward for the Democratic Party. If you're not giving us specific, tangible policies, how can you expect us to rally behind you instead of saying this is unacceptable? You can't think for yourself. Let us think for you. Let me come from behind my multi-million-dollar force field and tell you everyday people, everyday Americans that are struggling how you should vote, how you should identify with your political stance. Hmm. So I think Trump ran a masterful campaign. He had a stronger team of not celebrities but politicians. And his campaign, he worked for it. He put in the work every day. That man almost 80 years old out here campaigning like he was 25 years old. He went through all the states heavily campaign and listened to the people. And we had a natural disaster that happened, and he showed leadership where our current administration, they didn't show any leadership. They didn't offer any support. So it was just clear to me, you know. And it's just things like policies. We don't want men in women's sports. We don't want men in women's bathrooms. I mean, it's just common sense. It's just certain things that the left was champion. They would champion that this doesn't make any sense. Like, you say you want women's rights, but these people want to be able to let men in women's bathrooms that are confused, and women in and men in women's sports. It just didn't make any sense. So I'm just happy that the majority of the country, the vast majority of the country, had common sense and exercised their common sense in this election. And what's interesting is, as the votes and the polls rung true, and we see the victory for Trump, and we see the backlash from the liberals, the left liberals are having meltdowns all over social media. They're on TikTok and Instagram screaming and crying, and you know they're saying things like, now we're about to be suffering behind uh Project 2025. All black people about to be back enslaved, and all this foolishness that the media um has perpetuated. All this fake news that, like Trump said, is fake news. So you have all these people panicking when they should not feel that way, because it's false. And I blame the media, the mainstream media, for all the false propaganda and having these people out here having these meltdowns. They should not feel that way. But we know a lot of people are going to fall for the propaganda. So as time goes on, Note the same people that are out here having these meltdowns and remind them 4 years from now, none of that stuff that you were worrying about actually happened, and hold those mainstream media platforms accountable for undue stress to your mental state. Because, you know, these people are losing their minds. And it's really sad to witness. You know, it's funny, but it's sad, you know. But be that as it may, um, we still have a lot of work to do, a lot of prayer. We have to pray over our nation. We have to pray for the safety and the protection of our president. You know, we have to just pray for the safety and protection of all of our citizens. You know, it's just getting started, and we hold Donald Trump to the same um, requirements that he stipulated, and his team said that they were going to do, and I know he's going to deliver on that. I'm glad that there will be a peaceful transfer of power due to Kamala Harris' speech that was she concided, and that is great news. You know, we don't have to worry about no, you know, she acknowledges that that they lost, and she congratulated President Trump. So I feel glad to know that it's over and it's gonna be a peaceful transfer of power. So with that being said, I won't hold y'all too long. Just wanted to come give some thoughts right quick, and hopefully I get with my sister Mika, and we could set up a live and go more in depth and show some of these liberals too, man. Meltdowns is crazy, you know, the aftermath of the election. But with that being said, once again, the American people have spoken, and I'm so proud of our nation right now. Whenever we on a grassroots level can come together and make a statement politically, hey, it's a great day in the world. So, but with that being said, God bless everybody. Voices for the voiceless. We love y'all, and we'll speak to you soon. I'm out. Peace.